In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own custom painting. I'm making a corgi for this example. So I just got a pack of canvases for pretty cheap. You can use any stencil you want. You can get plastic ones, paper ones, some DIY style, make it yourself. I just use old puzzle pieces. You can use rulers to get different shapes if you want to. I use this for eyes, and I just used a playing card to get some sharp corners, which you can also tear up to get weird shapes as well. So this pack of canvases I got from a thrift store that's over here where I'm at in Cali. But if you can find some used ones, you can use that as well. If you want to paint on paper, go for it. Or if you want to paint on a t-shirt, just rock with that. I'm using DaVinci Eye, which I mentioned before. It's basically an app that allows you to turn an image somewhat transparent, and you can kind of hover over whatever surface you're trying to paint and trace essentially from the iPad. So you'll see me kind of do this in a second here, where you can see my hand is like being projected almost through the iPad. If you don't have a projector, which is not super cheap, this is another pretty easy way to go. I believe it's like a one-time payment for that app itself. I'm not sponsored by it, but it's one that I use when I'm doing some canvas paintings. So not necessarily needing any fancy art pencil. I just use the graph gear for this example, but use a regular number 2 or charcoal or chalk or whatever it is that you're using, as long as it's visible enough so you can get an outline on your canvas. I'm starting with the main features of this, so the eyes, the mouth, and just the overall proportions. It's not a one-to-one trace here. Like, I didn't get it super accurate, but it's close enough for me to be able to tell what's what. And once I have this laid out roughly where it needs to be, I can kind of start mapping out some of my main shapes and colors. Don't worry about the details, we'll figure it out. The shadows and the highlights, we'll bring it out. Complementary colors, we'll make it pop. Use them sparingly, we don't need a lot. Keep your pressure fairly low, 10 to 15 PSI. I'm not a singer, but I want to right now. Let's get back to it. Okay, but in all seriousness, if you use a stencil, you can kind of definitely clean up the edges of your artwork. So you'll see in the very final video coming up, I used torn paper just to kind of get these sharper edges and kind of tore them more of in a rounder kind of form, so I can kind of get the edges of his ear and his body. When you are going in for your smaller details, like the eyes and the clothing fabric, just have your PSI level pretty low and your paint reduced pretty much. You could use reducer. I wouldn't recommend using water. It is acrylic paint, so it will thin it out a lot, but hopefully you enjoyed.